What's going on, everybody? My name is Reginald Titus Jr. I'm the executive director of Grinder Matter Foundation. We're a 501c3 based out of Dallas, Texas. And the point of our nonprofit is having representation in front of and behind the camera. And how we do that, we have several programs. One of the programs is having scholarships for people that are interested in getting their drone license. We also have another project called Virtual Workshops, which we're doing tonight, having a virtual workshop in which we interview people that are in the industry. And then thirdly, we have another program where when we're producing our own projects in-house, we bring people that are interested in filmmaking so they can get hands-on approach to filmmaking. So if y'all are interested in that, go to grindovermatter.org. We also have a school, which we have like it's a monthly school where we hold you accountable to your filmmaking. So if y'all are interested in that, just go to grindovermatter.org and we could talk further about that. But today we're going to be talking about indie to income, making a profitable film with Sean Hunt. And we're going to dive right into the bio of Sean Hunt. Okay. With over 2 decades of experience, Sean Hunt is a multifaceted filmmaker whose career is defined by a relentless work ethic and technical versatility. After self funding his directorial debut, Nothing But a Thing, in 2007, Hunt spent years mastering every facet of the craft under the mentorship of industry veterans like Arthur Muhammad and M. Legend Brown. His expansive resume includes significant roles in production management, sound engineering, and casting on notable projects such as Carter High and the Elite Society, The Tokens. By 2022, his reputation for reliability and skill led to his first co production credit, No Better Love, making it a pivotal transition into high level production. Hunt's diverse technical background culminated in the massive success of his 2023 feature film, Stepdad. This romantic comedy has reached a global audience with over 14 million views across platforms like Amazon Prime and Tubi, while earning a slew of prestigious honors, including the Audience Choice Award at the Shutter Speed Film Festival and Best International Film at IBDFF. From his early days as a self funded independent to his current status as an award winning writer producer, Hunt's journey exemplifies the power of persistence and a holistic, every angle approach to the cinematic arts. Welcome, Sean. What's going on?
Well, I felt like I was coming out the tunnel. I'm like, whoo, come out this tunnel, just bust out.
Yes, sir. That's how we do, man. You've been
Hey, I
pretty busy.
appreciate it.
You're
I
welcome, man.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for your presence today. What we do here is we get right to it. So, we
Okay.
have about an hour, so we get right to it. So, tell us more about Stepdad and how you were able to like get into that and produce it.
Stepdad was like the second movie that I did. Like I said, Arthur Muhammad has been mentoring me for a long time. And so I wrote a script called The Money Tree that it was supposed to be kind of like a Disney-like movie. And I sent it to him and he sent it right back and said, "Hey, brother, you got like 300,000?" I was like, "Nah." He said, "Hey, you need to write something closer to 20." So I sat down and I wrote that based on I thought I could, it's 20,000, I could shoot it. And I want to make something that like we grew up with, family movie that we grew up with. And that's where Stepdad came from. I
Go
love
ahead.
this. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it was it was fun. I want to make something that was fun, that was four quadrant, basically, a male and a female under 25 and a male and female over 25, that kind of pulled in everything with everybody. And like the movies that we used to watch when we grew up, it taught you a lesson. So that's why I wanted to do that. And I felt like it would be a fun story and something that today's society or whenever, even later, um Stepdad is something that people could relate to. So yeah.
How did you decide on first off, let us know like kind of like what was going on during the time when you produced this? Because it was like what,
Oh my gosh.
2022? Was this like
It
during the
was
COVID era, right?
it was during the COVID era. People hadn't just started dropping it. They wasn't even called COVID. They were just saying it was like a virus that they didn't know what the name of it was. And so that was when everybody first got sent home. So there was no real death yet. So we were so lucky that nobody died, but the Hollywood was shut down. And so I had a lot of friends in the industry, and everybody just did favors. I had talked to Portia way before that, and I said, "I'm gonna have this movie, and I'm gonna write something." So it was really um, the money tree that I was gonna put her in, and then we have to write Stepdad. I was like, "Oh, she would fit perfect for that. I had worked with Portia before, so she was the first person that we cast for Stepdad. Was that character was specifically written for Portia Butch Hall.
And then, okay, so with deciding to do that, um, tell us about your process from, okay, I have the script. You wrote the script, right?
Mhm.
And how did you go like, all right, am I going to find a director? Am I going to direct it? How am I going to go about producing this? And how do you determine how much money goes into the project? Be like, okay, here's the budget for the film. Okay, this is what we're doing.
So Roy Richards, he was with me when he was actually the DP of the first film I did in 2005. That's one of my best friends. And so I called Roy, I was like, yo, we're gonna make a film. And he was like, you in? He was like, yeah, let's go. And then he was partnered with Broderick Carter. And so they had their own company as well. So of course, you get your boys in. And I had to get people in because I knew I had no idea what I was doing. It's different. Um, Writing, I knew that, but I wasn't I've never been at that time, hadn't been a director of anything. And he did it, and he did nothing but the thing. We got that done. And so he and Broderick were the ones that thought about Kenny. So we are gonna cast Kenny as the main character. And then we were looking for a friend, and it was like, well, Kenny's brother is a comedian, he's funny. So they cast Kenny and his brother. Diamond, which played the daughter, Chill Will's one of my best friends too, and he calls, "Hey, my niece, she's good. You ought to take a look at her." And so he sent her tape in, and she was phenomenal. She pretty much had the role right there. And then there was another guy that, and I cannot remember this name. I'm so sorry. We wanted him for Daniel, but he couldn't do it for some reason. I don't know if it was a date or a code or something. He couldn't do it. And so he goes, "Hey, I've got this other friend. He's really good. Let me have him send an audition." And so what we were doing was, because it was COVID, we couldn't have a live audition. So whenever somebody sent an audition in, we had like a email that they were sending it to, so everybody had access to that email. So between me, Roy, Broderick, Arthur, uh, my brother Brian Hunt, uh, the cast was formed. Now Portia was already, that was a lock in. Like we knew that was going to be the person, but everybody else, and we didn't know Diamond beast mode. Diamond actually went and hired an acting coach who was helping her break down the ropes. We was like, man, this girl's like, she's been acting for a long time. She had an acting coach. So while we were actually filming, she would go to her acting coach, and he would give her pointers on how to do stuff, and it worked. Um, Phenomenal. The girl was bad.
That's cool. So since this was going on during like the COVID time, you already had one actor locked in, but the rest of them you had to kind of find through the network, and then y'all were casting. Y'all just
Mhm.
kind of putting the casting out like online, or who was like in control of that? How'd you work that?
We all kind of just were calling people. So Roy had this idea about there was this I think it was called Anything Goes Comedy. And so we put together this comedy contest, and BJ Kramer, which played one of the best friends, he was one of the ones that did really good at in the contest. He actually made it to like the finals. So that was one of the people that we cast for the movie. So it was just all of us were like, okay, I like this person, I like this person. And then once it got nailed down, Arthur kind of approved everybody. He had worked with Portia before, and he liked the talent. So yeah, all of us kind of um, worked together to put that together. It was like a
Oh,
team effort.
okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so you get the team together. You don't have to like give exact numbers or anything like that, for just confidential reasons, but kind of give somebody if they want to kind of approach a film in the way that you've approached it. How'd you come up like with the budget, and what's realistic for somebody that's listening that's interested in developing their own project that's similar, meaning like it's family oriented. How can they go about doing it, and maybe what are some numbers they should really consider?
Well, I can say this: it was with everything going on. And mind you, I had known Portia for years. I didn't know Kenny. Roy and Broderick had a relationship with Kenny. Again, Diamond was Chill Will. And Lucretia, who played the mom, I had worked with Lucretia before. It was COVID. Hollywood was shut down, and nobody was filming anything. at that time, the stuff that people did was based on favors. Miss B did the set design, wardrobe. Miss B basically handled the whole art department. And then I had worked with Stacy before. Um, he did the sound, and then Roy was the DP, and Arthur was the director. So everybody, I'll just say this: everybody did favors as far as how much they were paid. I told them how much I had, what I could pay, and I was upfront with everybody. They liked the script, they wanted to do the project. And again, nobody else was filming. So when you have people that love what they do, they're not doing it. They weren't doing it at that time for the money. They were doing it because it was a different project. This was for me, this was Portia's first time getting to play like the mom and just the loving type character. She was in different type of roles. So it was something that she Portia is funny. If you've never talked to Portia is hilarious. So she got to be comical. She had never got to be comical. And so it was favors that were done for the love of the project. And that's how it got done. So I'm gonna tell everybody you would have to find people that are willing to do favors based on your past. And of course, Arthur was putting out hits. So it's like you're gonna work with Arthur, you're gonna be it's gonna be a hit. So that was the most thing that it was Arthur Muhammad joint, and his name has power to it. So that's why they did it. But it was it was not that much. But what I
Uh,
did do is I tried to supplement that with how we treated everybody. So normally on the film, you can get paid once a week. You can get paid at the end of the month. Some films will tell you they're going to pay you 10 days after production. But what I did is as soon as they walked through the door, I was selling their accounts. And we made sure we ate real good. Arthur told me, hey, pay people on time and feed them real good and be really nice, and people work with you, and they did. It was all favors because they were way below what they deserved, but it was favors, and like I said, they liked the project.
Okay, okay. What's realistic for you just throw a number out there? Somebody wants to produce a project like this with favors, considering, their friends, friends of friends, you're not out here trying to just look, on the cast list and trying to shop. But like friends of friends and acting friends and everybody's doing favors, but they're still getting paid. What's a realistic budget? And then also think about the days, like how many days should somebody be shooting a project like that?
Well, it's going to depend on all of that stuff. Really depends on the quality of the movie that you're trying to shoot. You could shoot a movie for free and get people in it, but the quality of the people is going to be based on what you can pay. You can go right now and get a guy with a camera and just get some people that are will that want to act, and you can do it for free. But I mean, I would say anywhere from 20 on up. Like I said, it just really depends on the quality. We didn't have quote unquote any stars that you would see on television, so that brought the budget down. But we had internet star like Kenny had done commercials, all type of stuff. Portia had been around. Portia social media stuff is strong. Everybody knew Portia, so it was. And then we had music artists, Mr. Rowe, Lana B, who were actually real artists. So they had their own crowd. And then Chris was a professional comedian, and BJ was a professional comedian. So you have people that are going on the road, and part of their opening is take, hey, I was in the movie Stepdad. So that helped tremendously as well.
Gotcha. So basically, people that are watching, you said maybe like 20,000 on up, maybe
20,
to like
20
to
on
budget
up.
to
But
if you want to pay everybody and and have everybody happy, right? you
yeah,
know.
well, happiness is based on who you are. So if you have a team that's never filmed it, maybe somebody's right out of school, or they just, oh, I just want to do it. You can pay them, and it'll help. But like when I first started with M. Legend Brown, I didn't get paid. I was just happy they let me in the door. And I felt honored that he let me on his set. And I was doing PA I was running. If they couldn't find extras, I'll call somebody. I was just happy he let me on through the door. So whatever I've got paid chips and free food, and I got to take pictures and learn and all of that. Hate to bring his name up, but Puffy, he was Andre. he was he was the intern.
That's good.
But if you think about who has to intern, doctors have to intern, lawyers have to intern. You get that's where you get to learn the knowledge and you get to learn firsthand. So hey, you go for it. See what you can make.
I can dig it. We have a question. Odessa says, "What's going on, Odessa?" She says, "How do you stay motivated in an industry that is constantly uncertain?"
Hey, Odessa, I just love doing movies. I love being on set. So if somebody says we're gonna film, I don't care what my role is. I'm just motivated because I can get to be on set, whether it's PA, whether I'm casting. I've done some stuff where it's like, hey, we just need somebody to walk out the bathroom. And I
Mm,
walk out the bathroom. I just love filming.
right. Okay. Okay. And that's how you stay motivated.
Hmm.
Uh, Having a love for the game, for what you're
Yeah.
doing. Okay, so let's talk about marketing. All right. So like from indie to income. So what what did your people say about what I mean people is like distribution. So we'll talk about distribution a little bit. What did you find out during the distribution process? Did you decide to go with a company? Did you do everything on your own? How did you approach it? And then talk about the marketing using your key art.
I had no idea of what the hell I was doing at all. So I hired people that knew what they were doing because I knew I didn't know. And so when we got done with the film, I didn't even think about distribution while the film was going on. I was just trying to get it done. So when it was done, I was like, okay, now what? And so Arthur Muhammad, he's like, hey, I have a friend and he's a distribution company. Send your stuff to him. So I sent it to him and he didn't even normally deal with first time filmmakers, but because Arthur's name was on it, he took the film. And so I was happy. I didn't even know who to call. That's how we got the movie distributed. Is a plug from Arthur. So
Hmm.
that was the first thing. So I didn't even know what to do from there. I was just like, okay, it's got distribution.
Uh, and also, just to be clear, because you mentioned Arthur a lot, but people that may not know, Arthur was your is your director for this film,
Yes. Hmm.
and so through the director's connection, you were able to kind of ease into distribution as a producer. You were kind of finding your way that way.
Everything that you're gonna deal with pretty much in life is not just what you know. You can know a whole bunch of stuff, but if you don't know anybody to open that door for you, then you kind of screwed. So I had worked with him. He was like, Charlie on Charlie's Angels, where he's just kind of on the phone. When I did my first movie, we would ask questions and he would say, do this, do that, do that. So that was in 2005. And then I got to work with him on Carter. I got to work with some heavy hitters on Carter High, and I was just having fun. So I asked him, I said, could you direct this movie? And he read the script and he was like, yeah, when I sent him the script, he actually was like, hey, you need to fix this. These are holes, which I didn't know there were holes until he said something. I was like, oh crap. So I I had a whole crew of people that I trusted them to do what they were hired to do. And that's how it was a team success.
Um, what was about? Oh, well, you were mentioning holes, meaning like plot holes, or like what are you
It
meaning by?
was it was it was plot holes. So there writing a script is a little bit different because you have to know everything that's going on and the stuff has to make sense. If you've ever watched a movie and you're like, now why did they do that? Those are the holes. So he asked me things that I had never thought about. At that time, I was kind of writing it from memory as far as things I wanted to happen. Later on, I bought a book called Coffee Break Screenwriter, which tells you how to write a movie 10 minutes at a time. So if you follow it from the beginning of the book to the maybe even half of the way, you have a finished script in like 60 days. And that's a professional person that did. So I started reading that later. But before that, you have to have somebody that, hey, this is wrong. This is wrong. Like, I don't know if anybody caught it, but well, yeah, we had a discussion. They caught it. In the movie, she was 14 when she had the first baby, and she was 16 when she had the second kid baby. That's why the family was trying to get him to go to military school. They shipped him off to military school, and that's why they were trying to basically get her to have an abortion or take the baby, because of course 14 and 16-year-olds. But some people watch movies and don't pay attention, but it was some people that actually, like, she was 14 and 16. Yeah, that's why a lot of
Okay,
stuff happened.
that makes sense. What? So what? So you as a producer, why did you choose? Because as we look on certain platforms like Amazon Prime, or if we look on Tubi, or if we look at certain platforms, there's a certain kind of movie that's being made. Why do you choose to go with the genre with the kind of like family friendly films? Is that like a marketing choice? Or like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I grew up watching family friendly films. I grew up in the age where you sat down with your family and you watched a movie. And I enjoyed all of those. And that's what I wanted to make, something that you could sit down, whether you with your mom or grandmother, whether it's church or what. I want to make a family friendly movie. And so that's why if you look at the movie, there's a few little cuss words from the kids or from the guy, but it's minor stuff. There's no sex in there really. There's no drugs. There's no other stuff. It's because we didn't grow up with that. And also later, as I started writing, I started doing research. Um, a lot of countries, if you're trying to go global, they don't allow certain stuff. And then also, the more marketable your movie, the safer it is, the easier it is for people to market. You get a whole bigger. That's why Disney movies make way more money. Disney or Marvel movies make way more money than like some rated R movies and different things like that. So it was kind of a little both, but in the beginning it was, I just wanted to make a family because my mama was gonna watch. So
Right, right. You gotta you
yeah,
gotta you gotta have something that
yeah,
you're proud of, right? I felt the same way with our feature film. Is like, you know what, we want everybody to watch it and kind of feel after they leave the theater, they want to feel proud.
yeah.
They don't
Well,
want
my mom has
to.
told us, he said, listen, whatever you do in life, don't embarrass yourself. Do not embarrass our family name, and don't embarrass your culture. So I had to kind of keep that in mind when I was making it. So I did the old school things. They something got ready to happen. I just panned the camera to the left, and it was tomorrow. You grown, you can figure it out. And if you didn't,
Yeah,
then you wasn't old enough to know what's going on anyway.
yeah, yeah. Too young to read between the lines. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, and so what were the results of that? Like, what were people saying? Because it's a family film, and what was the feedback that you were getting? Because you got a lot of views on YouTube from it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people were happy because it was a lot of films were coming out with it was kind of just, you kind of have to watch. It's like, oh, ooh. And the way the society is moving, it's a little bit hectic. So they were happy that it was something they could just watch, especially older people were happy that they could just watch it and not have to worry about certain aspects and of things popping up and discussions they had to have. And then the teenagers that were watching it, it was a lot of stuff that they had to deal with anyway, with different pressures and different things that they had. And then the guys liked it because there's certain movies that make men just look like dogs. And so in Stepdad, every character had flaws. They were not flawless, but they were still good people, which I believe that the majority of society is good people. They just got some stuff going on. Nobody saved anybody. They just learned to deal with people. So I just want, they liked it too because it made the culture look good and represented black men and women and teenagers in a great light. So that's, if that's all that would have happened, I would have been happy.
Wow, London. He says, Dr. London said, "Cut before the rating goes up." Um, okay, so it's good for marketing. So that was a good play because that's right, man. You know, when you're doing something that's PG 13, I mean, It's a general audience, and that's cool. You want the whole family to be able to watch it together instead of like splitting the family up and going to different
Mhm.
movies. So let's talk about trailers. So we're talking about marketing, and part of marketing is you got your key art and you got your trailer. Okay, so why is the trailer important, and how did y'all approach your trailer for marketing purposes?
That had nothing to do with me. That was all Arthur. Like, remember, like I told you, I knew how to write and I knew how to cast people and I knew how to act. I knew that. I had no idea how to put together a trailer. So what ended up happening, like I said, it was Arthur. It has his name on it. So I didn't have enough money to hire a company that there's companies that actually do trailers. So he had mercy on me, and I call in the homeboy favors, like, please, brother. I really just beg, like, brother, Arthur, please just do. I did not put that trailer together at all. That was all Arthur, and he put that together and showed the best aspects. When I saw it, I was like, ooh. So I was just blessed with that trailer.
Hey
That was
man,
all Arthur.
having a good reputation and network and friends that's willing to help you goes a long way. Okay, let's talk about film festivals. So, how did your distributor think about film festivals? Did y'all talk about film festivals at all? And what was your overall theory about film festivals?
My distributor told me not to do it. It was a whole waste of time. Nothing's gonna come in. He's like, I
Say
don't
it
know.
for what did he
Yeah,
say? What did he
yeah,
say?
it is a waste of time. What you
Why did he
doing
say
that
it was a
for?
waste of time? Tell him why.
Yeah, why are you in it? No, it's a waste of time. But I wanted to put it in some film festivals because I just wanted to see what people thought, and I want to see if we were actually gonna get in the film festivals, and I had never gone to any film festival. So I went through and I applied to, and you had to read between I applied to several film festivals, but there were certain ones of certain people, and they've never called me back. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
got accepted to none of those.
Hey man,
So
it might
when
be
you
a
go,
scam. There might be a scam. They just
nah,
collecting.
nah,
They
nah,
kicking
they
festival fees. Is like,
wasn't no scam. They knew exactly what they were
okay.
doing. They didn't pick nobody looked like me. So I started making sure that I applied to our film festivals. So Shutter Speed was the first one that I got to go through. Um Fatima Muhammad had that one. And that was my first film festival. And I sat in the back and I laughed and cried. It's different when you um watch a movie, and it's different when you watch a movie and people are reacting to the movie in the places where they were supposed to laugh and stuff. And I used to sing and be on stage. I used to do stand up, and I missed that. But I got that feeling back when people watched the movie. I was, man. And so I just, the song Children's Play, He Robbed Another and a Sister and a Brother. I just started applying to because I just want to see. And so we got accepted. I think we did like we applied for 22. We got accepted to like 13, and then I think we won something in like 7. So I was just happy they liked me.
That's
They
cool.
For black people to come and say, "Hey, we like that and we accept you." Bro, I was just happy.
Somebody, the hive mind said, but we went and came back with all the reward, with all the award, but we went.
I just was happy. I got my first one, and Shutter Speed was my first one. So I have a standout. It's got the Shutter Speed. It's got the International Black Film. It's got like the 3 that we won. I when I it's about Shutter Speed is about that little. I was so you couldn't tell me I wasn't on BET Awards or none of that. So and it was like an audience choice award. So the audience picked it. So I was so happy, but I didn't care if I eventually, like I said, I didn't care if I was just happy that I made it in. And if I didn't, of course, a lot of them I didn't win. Um, I was happy. I just was happy to be in the film festival.
I hear you on that. I I feel kind of like what Ava DuVernay says when because she had to market like her first film, she had to do it herself because she had like a press company. But what she said is kind of use your film festival as a launching pad for your marketing and your promotion and things like that. So like you can carry whatever happens at the film festival, you can carry that over into your release. So can you talk about how being at the film festival actually helped the numbers for your film?
Okay, so what I noticed is that After we did a film festival, 3 months after the film festival was over, the checks got bigger because I didn't know that when you do a film festival, they send stuff out to their mailing list about all the people who's going to be on the film festival, and so ours wasn't because a lot of the film festival movies haven't come out yet, but ours was out.
Yeah.
So people, because I was like, why are these checks? And I started putting everything together, like, oh, and then you would go and meet people. So I didn't. There was a Denton Black Film Festival, one of my favorite film festivals. Emma Legend Brown taught that one. I didn't know anything about a Q sheet. I thought when you did a movie and you sent it to the distributor, they did all that. And he was like, no, like you have to do a Q sheet. So I started calling everybody, y'all got Q sheets, y'all do it. And I found out a lot of the filmmakers had no idea that we were supposed to do that. And so I learned you go to the film festival and you learn so much stuff and you network with people and you also get to see people who are just like you doing the same stuff with the same struggles. So it makes you feel not as alienated
Yeah. Yeah.
um, with the problems that you had. It's like, oh, you had that problem too? Yeah. So the film festivals are wonderful. And you get to see what you didn't do. You get to see the people with the real good films. He was like, ooh, there was one I went to a Denton Black Film Festival. I was happy. People were in mine. And then when I came out, it was people lined up down the corner and around the street. And I'm like, okay, I got to do better. So,
Well, what's a cue sheet for people that don't know?
so the cue sheet is when you go through and you mark down all of the music in the movie in chronological order, how many minutes and seconds it was, who's the artist, and you split it between the publishing and then the artist so that they can actually get credit every time that the movie plays and where it plays. So every time it goes to a different platform, you're supposed to send in another cue sheet so they can keep track of all of that stuff.
Yeah, man, that cue sheet can get people in trouble. You know, you start putting stuff that ain't licensed yet, and you find out that that music that you put on there, that hey, they want $50,000 for that one 30-second piece of music, man. They can
Luckily,
get,
all ours was all original songs, all
hey,
originals.
that's how you do it right there. So how was it like in having that communal experience in the film festival? I know when we were watching a film, I'm like kind of like, man, this is it's almost like a well, I wouldn't say free, but it's like kind of like quality control because you can see what's working with your film. Did y'all tweak anything while this was being played at the festival? Did y'all tweak anything or were you getting the feedback that you wanted?
No, it was already out. It was too late to tweak anything.
Okay.
It is out. It's out.
You get what you
Yeah.
get. Yeah.
But I was kind of learning some stuff from different people, different techniques, different things that people did, how they made their film. There was a guy they flew in and he did Unreal Engine. And this dude basically made a whole movie from one room in his house. And I was like, what the so it's stuff like that, different people giving you different tips on things to do. So I was just like, bro, it's amazing to me. So just to be in that presence of those people at the film festivals, if you don't go, if you're in entertainment and you don't go to the film festivals, you are doing yourself a disservice because it's 1% changes water to ice or to steam, and that 1% might be the difference between you just being a regular indie filmmaker and then you just blowing up.
Okay. We're talking about distribution. So what platforms did everything go on? And then also too, YouTube, films on YouTube. Did you have like any struggles with your film being on YouTube? Me personally, I was like, when we were putting it on YouTube, I was like, man, do we want to? You know, we had some. I don't know about YouTube, dog.
So we gave it to Tubi first. We gave it to Tubi, and then Tubi just didn't call back for a while. And then so the distributor called. He's like, "Yo, you're gonna be on y'all gonna be on Vudu first, and then y'all gonna be on Amazon, and then you're gonna go to Tubi." So Vudu and Amazon is basically all your friends and family who go on there and buy the movie. And we had a bunch of teenagers and different people like that, and their families and cousins and mom. All those people went and bought it because their kids or grandkids was in it. So that was fun. And then we told everybody based on what Tubi said when it was going to be on Tubi. and that was a whole lie. It was like 2 days later. So all the people, we promoting it, and it was 2 days later. And then I get a call from one of the actors. Your stuff is on YouTube, and I'm sick. Like, why my stuff on YouTube? This is
Oh, you didn't know?
horrible.
You didn't
I
know?
know, I didn't I looked at the paper and I saw YouTube, but I wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm just happy to sign a distribution deal.
yeah,
And so I called like, hey man,
yeah.
why is my stuff on YouTube? What are you doing? And he was basically saying, listen, man, everybody is a different crowd. Some people like Burger King, some people like McDonald's, some people like Whataburger. So there's YouTube is overseas. There's people who watch YouTube. So I have the YouTube that I have, Voodoo and Amazon. Those are names that are recognizable, but you're not gonna make any real money until it gets on Tubi. And I was like, okay, again, I don't know what I'm doing. So, okay, let's go. But now he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth. Them Tubi checks is different.
That's true. Um, but you still saw money from YouTube.
Yeah, we we
Right.
we saw it. Um, YouTube, YouTube is different. When people watch your movie on Amazon, it's three things they can push. I loved it, I like it, didn't care for it. And you don't know who pushed what. We also um talked to the distributor. He was telling me if you know people personally is watching on Amazon, go in there and have them write a comment or something like that. YouTube, when you look at those comments, you're gonna get the real truth because you can see this is stupid. Why are they like people are commenting like social media? They're commenting like social media. So I'm just like,
You
you
get
get
like
to
a real
see
connection, right? See what's going on.
connection. You get to man, you just like
You can see if your film working or not.
man. I saw a lot of good stuff, but it's a lot of stuff I saw. I was like, damn, we gonna have to
Yeah.
fix that.
Oh, they was going in.
Man,
Lawana said Arthur is the best director. Shout out to
best director
Lawana.
in the whole wide world.
Shout out to Lawana.
But yeah, that
So they was in there scoring. They was like, hey,
what?
they was. It's funny
Oh,
how people be all of a sudden they be technical people and got they all the what it was. We needed this QC when we was in production. Why are you gonna
no,
wait till now?
it was some different stuff. So like I know how to do stuff different now. So I would
Okay,
pay another type of company to do the translations like the Spanish and stuff like that. But one of the
okay.
big ones where people were going off, like I paid him amount to do the translations
Hmm.
in the Spanish. It was like Spanish and Portuguese. And so I was like, man, our stuff is in Spanish. All right, let's go. So I
Yeah.
go on there and look, and I'm seeing people saying stuff in Spanish. So I'm hitting the translate, and they like, this is the worst translation. Like, this is who did this? Like, this sucks. And I'm just like, oh dang,
Was it
this man,
who was
yeah,
who was translating? Was it a person? Was it like AI or something?
it it all sound the same to me. Like Telemundo, everything was like Telemundo. No, 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 no. But it wasn't. I don't know if he. I don't know where he got it from, but apparently it was like a cheap version of the translation because people were like, "This is horrible" as far as the trans.
So it
And
messed
so
up
I
their
was
experience.
like,
Okay, so you was getting, but
"But
you know what? You was getting the real feedback though.
yeah," but I'm like, Easy E. I don't know if you remember in the movie where they were running over them CDs and everybody's like, "Oh, I can't." He's like, "They paid for them. You already watched it. You got to watch it all the way through in order to do it." But and some other stuff. People were saying other stuff, but I got majority 90% good feedback, but that 10% was strong. You have I was like, ooh, I wish I could delete them, but I was like, okay, yeah, those, yeah, Tubi, you gonna get the
Yeah, you're gonna get that work.
me not yeah, YouTube,
YouTube,
yeah,
and
YouTube,
then
you gonna get the real. That's the only place where you really get to see the comments, unless somebody tell you. Yeah, yeah.
so Jaime, he said Spanish translation is rough because it's based on region of South America. So I'm assuming like different dialects and things like that. So yeah,
I'm gonna pay the professional. I'm gonna pay higher.
yeah.
I'm gonna pay higher.
That's messed up. Okay. Oh, I had an idea. Oh, I forgot what I was about to tell you. But okay. So this is like part of the marketing. Talk about piggybacking. And so as like a marketing technique, you got people that are popular inside the how did y'all help each other out in like the piggyback technique?
It was a total accident. It was just all lined up together. So Stepdad was done actually in 2021, but we had some hiccups in getting editing done. Roy was actually everything, but Roy's profession, he works a lot of hours, so all of us was just trying to get done what we did. So it just kind of took a long time because everybody was trying to work their regular jobs and do this on the side. So once we finally got it edited, it came out. But in the meantime, we had done some other movies. So Kenny was in this movie. I think it's called Younger Man, Older Woman, or Older Woman, Younger Man. Somebody young or somebody old. Uh, but that that movie came out around the same time or a little bit before Stepdad came out, and it had like 55 million views. So, whenever you watch something, and it was a good movie too. Whenever you watch something, they said, well, if you like this, you'll probably like this. So I think that helped as well. Portia had done a lot of movies um, before Stepdad came out, and so it all pushed back. So it was the perfect storm when it actually came out because it had some help on that. And then my wife came up with this idea. We talked about thanking people, and so she came up with this graphic. And hey, thank you guys for watching Stepdad. We got started off with like I think 100 views, and so we would send that to the cast and hey y'all, put this up and tell everybody thank you. Well, it went from 100 to 1,000 to 5 to 10. So every time we hit a milestone, we put that graphic up, and all that did is generate more. We didn't know it was going to do that. All that did is generate more interest of people watching it. And then we found out because I'm just like, I put it up and I was like, everybody just share it. My wife's like, no, 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 no. We have to send it to them individually because if they do it themselves, the algorithm will get their audience. So you had 70 to 80 people putting up graphics saying thank you for this. And so that everybody started, well, I'm gonna go and watch it. I'm gonna go and watch it. So that just kept going. And then when we hit 1 million views, it just blew up. We had 1 million on like YouTube, 1 million something on too, but we were just like in shock. So it just kept going. We didn't know what the heck was happening. We were just happy that
Wow.
somebody saw it.
Was it the same graphic or did y'all create specific graphics for those individuals?
It was the same graphic. All we did is change the view numbers. So we
Okay.
would change.
Each time it was like a different milestone, like, all right, we got a million,
Mm-hmm,
hits this time, put that up there. 2 million, 5 million, etc.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay, got it. That's smart.
that was
Uh,
all her. That was
Shout out
that
to
was
the
all her.
wives with wisdom. For real. Okay. So talk about how your distributor was saying that how they decided on what networks to go through. So like, what platforms is going to be on versus like not being on everybody's platform.
Well, he wanted us to do Voodoo first because they gave us some type of exclusive thing where like we were up front. And then Voodoo, I mean Amazon did the same thing. So he's like, we're gonna put you on Voodoo, so we know we're gonna make you a little bit of money. So Voodoo was just like a couple of baby money. We didn't make a little bit more money until we got to Amazon because it's a recognized name. Everybody got Amazon. So that was all family and friends and stuff. So his plan was we're gonna put it there. They're gonna pay for it because they're either family, friends, or kids were in it. And then once they see it, then they will go and they will push for people to watch. Y'all need to watch this. My grandbaby was in here. And so that started to push. So by the time we got to Tubi, then people were watching it on Tubi, and then eventually it got to Amazon where you'd have to pay to purchase it. You could just watch it. So we were like in shock. So you're able to watch our stuff just like multi-million-dollar people. So I'm like, I got calls like, your stuff on Amazon. I'm like, yeah, no, no, you can watch it like a regular movie. So I was like, for real. And so I was calling people, hey man, go on here and see if you could watch it for real. So
Yeah,
man, we was just excited. We was just it's almost like an artist the first time their stuff comes on the radio.
that's true. That's very true. I do miss with Amazon Prime how they used to be able to allow us to get on there and submit it ourselves, and
Mhm.
we'll be on the Amazon Prime. But they locked that up pretty quickly. But
Oh, yeah.
you got to go through a gatekeeper now.
Yeah, somebody messed it up.
Yeah, yeah, they probably stole somebody's movie and put it up there. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. People ain't trying to get sued like that. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. What are some things that you would do differently now that before you answer that one, anybody if y'all out here just y'all have some questions, just drop them inside the YouTube link. I'm not sure if we're getting them on LinkedIn, but go to YouTube, type in the comments and we'll be able to see your comments and we'll put it up, talk about it. So yeah, so what would you do differently now that you've gone through the process and you earn your stripes? What would you do differently?
I would have only I would have found a way to get 1 star in there because there's certain platforms that we couldn't get in onto because we wouldn't have had a star. We didn't have a star. The other thing I would have done is I would have scraped up some money to have somebody do professional lighting. Because like when you watch it, there's certain parts that's darker and different. Because we just use all practical lighting because I didn't have no money for that. So I would have done that. Otherwise, I would have just left it like it is because it's got all these views. So it was something was right. But those are the things that I would have person if I could go back in time, had the money, I would have got that done.
From a business side, what would you do differently business wise?
Business wise, I would have had key marketing days. So whenever I had somebody on the set, I would have had a place for them to go and do marketing videos. I would have done because we planned this for the next movie. I would have them go, and each person I would have told to bring 3 pairs of clothes, and I would have videoed them saying, "Hey, it's so and so. Get ready to watch me in the new movie Stepdad." That's one video, and then change clothes, and then come back and say, "Hey, um, the tickets about for the premiere about to go on sale right now. Get your tickets," and you can add all of the specifics at the bottom of the screen. And then the third one, I would have had them go and say, "Hey, it's streaming on so and so. Watch it now." And I would have had them go through like the top um 6 videos or six or just say but I would have those marketing videos done so that each person had their own file. And so when the movie came out, I would shoot the because that means it's all that stuff is done, and I would shoot that, and each person could put up a video because reels get more views than pictures. So I would definitely have done that, and then I would have gotten some news coverage. I didn't know anybody in no news station, or I would have put together some marketing for radio. I didn't know any of that stuff. So now, I got a better marketing plan on what we would do.
No, that's smart because I always I go back to the other filmmakers that kind of been through the trenches and doing this that are successful, and Ava DuVernay, she said, as the thing as an independent, the thing that you have an edge on everybody else is you can do guerrilla marketing. The studios don't have the time to build out guerrilla marketing. And so what they do is overpay so they can like just cover the whole country with their marketing. But what you can do is like what you were talking about, like doing that hand-to-hand combat, doing that guerrilla marketing and really being in the trenches with the community and building a community around it, which sounds like what you did for this film.
It was me, I think it was me, Roy, Kelly Gray, and somebody else. I cannot remember. And Kelly did a movie called Sweet Justice. That was like the first movie that actually, I think that was the first one. Besides, I can't remember if we did that one first at Carter High, but we had stars in. But we went to go see Kim Fields at this seminar, and Kim Fields says, "Conquer your city, then conquer your state. And if you conquer your city and your state, then Hollywood will come and find you." She's like, "Don't go to Hollywood, don't go to LA, don't do any of that. Focus on conquering your city totally and conquering your state." So that's what we were attempting to do. Just we wanted to conquer the city, and then we'll try to move out to the state. We never made it to the state, but I think we did an okay job on the city.
No, that's pretty good. Texas big, right?
Yeah, Texas did.
That's actually good advice because that's basically what Will Packer and them did with their first few films. Was they were so successful with their film independently and theatrically that literally Hollywood came knocking and gave them a first look deal. Did y'all do anything theatrically? Did y'all decide to do anything?
No, we just remember it was we just did the premiere, and we knew it was gonna go streaming. We didn't know when, but they were like, "Hey, um, Tubi likes it, and they're gonna accept it, but they just didn't say when. So we were just like, let it go that way. It's more people with telephones and screens than being able to go to the movie. We just were wanting to get it out to the masses.
Okay, yeah, that's smart. It's kind of like back in the day, like in the late '90s and things like that, going straight to blockbusters. Like, hey, we in the blockbuster, we made it, and people was making good money too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you did all that, everything's rocking and rolling. So financially, what could somebody that decided to follow your blueprint under the same circumstances, what did it turn out like how you wanted? Were you surprised? And
It
then
was. I was surprised. It turned out way better than I put it this way. If I knew then what I know now, I would have financed everything like I wanted to by myself.
okay,
I put it this way: the investor got his check back, his money back, the first check,
y'all hear
and
that?
and we still had way more left over after that. That was the first check, and then all the other checks were Tubi got good checks. So yeah, it turned out way better than I could ever have thought. And like I said, it was a total team effort. Everybody did their part, and like I said, it was rock soup. I sat back, and all the people who were supposed to do what they were supposed to do, I was so new. I was like, yeah, you do, yeah. What do you think about this? You like it? You did not, yeah, do that. Because I didn't know that wasn't my lane. So I stayed in my lane and there was no traffic jams and it came out right. And also you have to think about this. Every person God has given a talent to. Some he gave multiple. So that's their gift. So when you go on a film, the best thing that you can do is to sit back and shut up and let those people put in their artistic talent on whatever it is that they're doing and blend it in. Of course, you kind of give them a direction. This is where we want to go. But it's the same thing with actors. These are the lines. Give me two on the ink and then give me like a couple of what you think. It's just so we can get a set of precedent of where we are. Just give me two what's on the paper. After we got that, let's go. Let's see what you have. And so those people that did what they do, I couldn't have ever thought of stuff like that because that's not my gift. So I think that's the worst mistake that people make in film. They come in and they hire people, but they try to tell the people everything to do, which you might as well just go ahead and get a whole bunch of PAs and just tell the PAs and just puppeteer the PAs. If you're gonna hire somebody, let that person enhance your film and come in with the gift that God gave them, and it's gonna turn out great.
Yeah, man, it's like one of the ultimate team sports, and yeah, very rarely do you get to have the same team, but when you do, it's a blessing. What is next for you?
We are still trying to get funding for this movie called The Tortoise and the Hare, and that is going to be one of our babies. When you think about love and basketball, the wood, different things like that, I love making sure that our black women look great in movies. I love making sure that our men look great in movies, and it's a movie with a double meaning, and the whole movie is about a person who has to pick which way they're going to go in life, and they figure out that there's a huge divide between what you think you want and what you don't know you need. And that applies to love, life, employment, and everything. So we want to give a well-rounded look on the things that a lot of people going through. And so we handle a lot of different subjects just like we did in Stepdad, but it's gonna be a romantic comedy and it's fun. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, and you're gonna find some people that you can identify with. So yeah, that's our next one.
Rock and roll. Yeah, I look forward to that. We do have a question. Dr. Lund said, I have two questions. In retrospect, what adjustment would you make to your casting strategy on your next film? And then what has been your most effective approach to raising capital? So we'll start with that casting.
Okay. What I would actually do as far as the casting, because it was COVID, we had to have video submissions. I actually was there when London casted Bid for Love 2, and Bid, I'm sorry, Bid for Love and Bid for Love too. But they had it in this building, and it was a different type of vibe when people could come in and they're looking at the competition. It was almost like American Idol with the walk in the room, and it was a big, huge. I would do that because that you can call people back. Hey, I need to see you with this person, you with this person. We didn't have the luxury of doing that when we filmed. So I would definitely do it that way, and that way you can collect information. If they don't make it in that particular role, would you be interested in the next role or extras? And they had a bunch of paperwork and they had all the stuff. So when they got ready to do other movies, they still had the list from the last movie. And it also creates a gigantic buzz. So the way they handled that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that next time.
Yeah, noted. And I was I was shooting some behind the scenes stuff for that. The cool thing is like that by itself is its own event. You know what I mean? And you can capture the essence of it. So yeah, I think you're right. That is like a fantastic approach.
And then as far as the financing, um, um we keep tweaking this pitch deck because we want to make it better and better. So I hired somebody to show me how to get qualified for grants because I was like, I'm gonna get some grants. And as soon as I paid that money and we got everything up and running, then they canceled DEI. So DEI, they canceled that. So now I haven't found anybody that gets any grants. And then we tried to do a wouldn't go but Indiegogo. And we got some money from that. But um I had to learn on Indiegogo. Even though you follow the directions, you have to understand what the directions are telling you. There's a different way that white America um, speaks and the things that they respond to, and there's a different way Black America responds. So if you mix those up, you can get a bad result. They liked emails. Well, we don't really check emails like that. I mean, you got to text somebody, and then you also need to have the audience. I didn't have a big enough audience to go through and get the money, so we've tweaked this pitch deck 50 million times to get it right. So I think that's going to be it. So that's why it was taking us so long to make sure that's there. So that's going to be our go-to. And also I've been training myself on AI. And so we're going to do a a kind of like an AI video with hyper realistic to do proof of concept because when you have to show somebody and put it in their mind what they can see.
Yeah, absolutely. So like the cool thing about AI and you can create videos now is kind of like what pre-visualization or like doing a mock teaser like we saw with Black Dynamite when
Yeah.
Michael J. Watt they put together how they thought the film should look as a trailer, and they played it, and they was like, "All right, send us the movie," but it wasn't really the movie. It was like they shot the trailer like it was already done. Same thing with Dear White People. Remember they had shot the trailer, and there's all the money shots. They just shot all the money, put it in the trailer, and what's his name, Justin Simeon, hopefully I'm saying his name right. He had put it on
Uh-huh.
Twitter and was like, "Hey, if y'all want to see this film, support it at Kickstarter." Um, so I think AI has allowed it to where you don't have to spend so many resources. Now you can kind of just do it all in your computer.
Well, I've been practicing. I've created Coke commercials. I've created different scenes. So I'm just getting out. So I use Hicksfield, and so those tutorials that they have, and then going through there and actually doing it, and then thinking of the concept to do for your stuff is a little bit different. So, but that's the way everything is going. There's a movie on Tubi called Moses, Fire and Ice. And it was made completely with AI. And it's got some glitches in it you can actually see. But the guy made it for $300. Took him 3 weeks, and he's already made $5,600 in 2 weeks.
That's crazy. I did. You send me that. You send me that link. I said, "Ain't no way." We here though. We here. This is where
Yeah,
we at. A $300 movie. He done flipped it. Next time
yeah,
we can add some people in there.
yeah. I um my directorial debut is gonna be when we're doing these virtual dramas. Because what people think with AI, you just put some stuff in there to make you a whole movie. No. AI is basically like a suite, and you have to become everybody on your film set. Everybody that you would normally hire, you have to be that person. And if you've never done that before, like some of the stuff I was doing, I'm spoiled. I can give Arthur Muhammad a script, and he already knows what shots he's gonna do with it. I just give him the script and step back. Yeah, that don't work on AI. You have to know the shots, the angles, the camera that you want to use, all that type of stuff. So all it's gonna do is make me a better filmmaker because I'm gonna be thinking a lot different. Because you only have so much time to grab somebody's attention, and it's AI, so it has to be way better than a regular film. So we're putting it together that way. And again, I leaned on my team, so I get to work with some great people, and we're putting everything together. And so when we present it, it's going to work right, and it's going to be something I feel like the community is going to get behind. And I just want to keep that same feeling that stepdad had, where you we build a trust where they know, okay, I can watch this movie. It's gonna be safe. I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna enjoy it, and I will watch it over and over again.
Speaking of which, thinking like you're talking about quality, and we had talked about this earlier. Just your approach as an artist, why you decide, because you said someone mentioned about why don't you just throw some out there, just throw another one out there real quick. Why do you choose not to follow that approach? Some people do that approach, to each his own, but why as an artist you decide not to follow that approach, and what approach do you view with your art?
Well, I want everybody to trust me that's on set, and I wouldn't put my name just personal by myself on something I just threw out there. So if I wouldn't do that to me, I would never invite a cast on something or crew on something that I just threw out. I'd rather do it right. Um, I see what the results are when you take the time and do it right. So Denzel had something that said, he gave a speech. He said, um don't mistake movement for motion. People are on the treadmill moving, but they're not going anywhere. And so, especially now with all the competition, you have to be very careful what you put out. It's easy to get branded of, oh, so and so just makes this type of movie. Also, part two, um, I could count on my hand um the movies that part two was just as good are way better than part one. Normally that doesn't happen. So I was like, okay, well, let me do another type of movie and then wait a few years and come back with some stars to put in this movie, and people will be hungry for it. So I have a plan that I want to do to kind of compound the results and pull in different crowds. We did Stepdad. Now Tortoise in the Hair is coming. And then there's a movie that we have that's the Disney movie that I was telling you about, The Money Tree. And then we got another movie that we're working on. So it'll draw in different crowds. So I have to learn how to think. And I used to think, okay, I got to do this like a filmmaker. And no, I'm competing with I Show Speed, Mr. Beast, all those type of people. And everybody has their crowd. Once you get the crowd, in the audience, you can do whatever you want to. So it would have been easier to get the money if I had 1 million followers and I said, hey, I just need $25 from this many people. You're good. So I have to take my time and build up a brand now. I have to think about brand and get a crowd, an audience, and just cater to my particular audience. I don't have to worry about the people that don't like me or my type of film. I just need to find my audience and cater to those people, and then everything will work out for those people who are supposed to follow. So that's how I'm trying to handle it now, and that's why I'm learning how to do some of this AI stuff, so I could build an audience. Everything except for TikTok, because they crazy if they think I'm gonna let them use all my likeness and name, and they can make money. I can't. No. So yeah.
Then they'll disband your channel later. That's how they doing lately. All right, it's been an hour, man. I appreciate your time, brother. Where can
Oh, thank you
people?
for letting me come on.
Absolutely, people need to know about you and what you're producing. So, what platform do you want people to watch your films? Can you like kind of direct people where they should go support
It
your
it it
project?
depends on what you have. If you got Tubi, that's number one. Go watch it on Tubi. It's free. If you got Amazon Prime, you can watch it. Now, if you have Comcast or Roku, you can watch it on those. And there are some other ones like Umo and some stuff like that I had never heard of. I was like, okay, watch it on it. But I would say the main ones would be Amazon Prime, Comcast, Tubi, and Roku. Or if you are overseas or something and you like YouTube, watch it on YouTube. Just I don't care which one you watch it on. Just watch it over and over again. Take it upstairs and turn it on Tubi and just keep playing it every day. Just yeah.
We appreciate it. Anybody out there, again, go support them. Go support Stepdad. Also, for our nonprofit, don't forget, go to grindovermatter.org. We have a lot of programs that's available. If you're looking for like accountability for your own film projects, reach out to us and we have a program for you. Until next time, hey, appreciate it, Sean. You have a good one.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Take care, brother.
All right, peace.